What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy. Today I got a good one. I'm assuming it's a good one because this is the first ever SCP, supposedly, because this is SCP-001, the Scarlet King. So, yo, I'm excited for this, man. I'm new to SCP videos. Like I stated in my well, I shouldn't say last video. I don't know. I might post this second and the other one I did earlier first. But yeah, I'm new to SCP videos, and I'm liking them so far. And this seems pretty dope because I just stumbled along this and I just found out it's the first ever SCP. So I can't wait to see like how strong this dude is, or like how powerful it is, because it's called the Scarlet King. So I'm assuming that it's not like a whole like thing. Like the last one I did was like a game show. Like the whole thing was like an entity, like the whole game show, which made it kind of weird. But this is like the king, the Scarlet King. So this is like a being. So can't wait to find out more about this. But if you guys are excited about SCP videos, you guys are excited about my reactions to them, please remember to smash that like button. It will help the channel grow. And the best part is it takes less than a second. And I'd love for you guys to join the family. Like, yo, this is a family of one right now, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't want to be alone. Join the family. Smash the sub button. Come on, B. Join. So also just join, and then so please join. Help me out. So yeah, join, and yeah, let me know in the comment section. And also, let me know in the comment section below, too, what are you guys' favorite SCP videos and which ones that you might want me to get into? Because, like I said, I'm new to SCP videos, and I'll love to see your guys' favorite ones. And in a later date, I could probably cover them in the future. So, without all out the way, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get straight into the origins of SCP-001, the Scarlet King. See ya. Alright, let's hope this is a good one.
The SCP Foundation is no stranger to pure evil. Whether it's a reptile that wants to end all life, a sadistic old man with his own torture dimension, or the personification of death itself lurking beyond a limestone cavern. But what if there was something even worse out there? The embodiment of chaos and cruelty, existing across multiple realities and dimensions.
I was gonna say, what if it's just like a human? Before you said like multiple realities and dimensions, I'm like thinking, what's worse than that? Human being. Like most of these humans are pretty like fucked up creatures. I'm just saying, like no cap. I know we're all humans, but maybe, hopefully we're all humans watching this video. But yo, you never know what the Billy down the street's gonna do to you next week. Like we don't know. So let's just keep it going.
And what if it was coming for us? This is the Scarlet King, believed by many to be the ultimate evil behind much of the trouble the Foundation has faced, and some even speculate that fighting him was the reason the Foundation was created in the first place.
Yo, I didn't know we were going to get a little origins of the whole Foundation of SCP. So that was a little tidbit. Like we basically find out that the Scarlet King, his existence is what made the existence of the SCP Foundation to be even created to combat this force. So if it wasn't for him, there would probably be no SCP Foundation. Dang, so he must be top tier, bro. Yo, oh my god. Let's see.
But what exactly is the Scarlet King? He's known by many names, almost always including some allusion to the color red, and then a reference to royalty or power.
Makes sense.
Kaharak, the Red Shah, the Crimson Khan, PTE 616 Mendez Ex Machina, the Laha.
The fuck? Yo, that might be my favorite one. PTE 616 Mendez Machina. Oh my god. Bro. That's pretty deadly. That's a deadly name. But let me hear it again.
And then a reference to royalty or
power. I like the Red Shah too.
Kaharak, the Red Shah, the Crimson Khan, PTE 616 Mendez Ex Machina, the Laha Raja, and Harak, Kaharak, the Red Shah.
That's my favorite one
Crimson
too.
Khan, PTE 616 Mendez Ex Machina, the Laha Raja, and of course, SCP-001. The color red. Power.
Alright.
Kaharak, the Red Shah, the Crimson Khan, PTE 616 Mendez Ex Machina.
Favorite by far.
And of
Yo.
course, SCP-001, to name a few. And like many of the Foundation's mysterious enemies, stories about his true nature and origins abound and are often contradictory. According to the official
Wait, hold up. I just gotta
origins abound.
Notice this perfectly circular beard. Like, I mean, I know that it's the art form, but goddamn, what is just a black circle? That's hilarious to me. Oh my God.
Are often contradictory. According to the official SCP-001 files of Tufto's proposal, symbology of the Scarlet King has existed in multiple cultures throughout history, with the king often depicted the same way, as a huge red demonic figure, often wearing a gold crown or other headdress indicating royalty.
So probably Satan?
He shows up looking similarly within different cultures' mythologies, despite existing at different points in history, or them not having the means to communicate with one another.
Damn, I wish they would have noted, like, what beings that he looked familiar to in other mythologies. Because I'm assuming it's probably like Satan or like a devil. Dang, that would be kind of crazy.
A number of entities that the SCP Foundation is familiar with are believed to be somehow connected to the Scarlet King, including SCP-2317, a wooden door leading to the realm of a being known as the Devourer, who's expected to escape and cause an apocalyptic event in the next 30 years. But really, there's no...
Whoa, so we're getting more SCPs in this SCP. Dang, this guy, let alone being the origins of SCPs, he's like what sprouted probably other SCPs. Like, he's probably like the main SCP. And like other ones, like he has probably like, you know, little tidbits or gave them power to become like, you know, SCP or something. Who knows? I'm just going off certain things in my head, but like, damn. I didn't know we were going to be listening to other SCPs in this one. This is great.
No way of knowing just how many SCPs are directly connected to the Scarlet King. Strangely, the Foundation's official file on the Scarlet King once designated his containment class as Keter, but that has since been downgraded to safe. According to the file, any attempt to change...
I'm new to SCP videos, so bear with me, but Keter, I'm assuming that means dangerous, because now it's safe, but is that the case? Can you let me know in the comment section below, guys? If there's anyone out there, because this is only a family one still, so please smash that like button. But let's keep it going.
This designation is likely to lead to horrifying results. It is widely known that the Scarlet King still has considerable influence over a number of groups, individuals, and anomalies in our universe.
A fire sword?
If he made his way into our universe, it would likely lead to the irreversible damage of reality itself. So then why safe? And why are the O5 Council so adamant that it remain that way? Getting to the bottom of this mystery is exactly why we're here today.
Let's get it.
To fully grasp the true nature of the Scarlet King, we must first understand the man whose life and fate have always been tied to it, Dr. Robert Montauk. If that name feels oddly familiar to you, it's because of its association with one of the Scarlet King's most recent attempts to enter our reality, SCP-001. This SCP, often referred to as the Brides of the Scarlet King, was formed of 7 women. 7, by the way, being an extremely significant number for the king, all kidnapped by the most recent in a long line of the king's devoted cults known as the Children of the Scarlet King.
This is crazy. Another SCP that we're... Wow. So that event in itself is is an SCP on its own, but that's part of his SCP story. So this guy's levels ahead of other SCPs, bro. Like, this is wild.
Each of these 7 unfortunate women were impregnated with anomalous horrors, such as the infamous SCP-682. And every time one of these horrors...
Bro!
A catastrophe occurred and the mother died. At the time, Dr.
Dude, so this dude's birthing SCPs with these... Bro! The kids probably from the 7 wives are creatures of other SCPs. Yo, this dude is really the daddy of other SCPs. This is crazy if that's the case.
Was a prominent researcher studying this anomaly, and as 6 catastrophes had already occurred, pressure was mounting to figure out a way to prevent the final birth. But as he was working on the issue, Dr. Montauk was struck with a personal tragedy. the mysterious disappearance of his 14-year-old brother Jacob. In his fear and anger, Montauk believed that this must have something to do with the Scarlet King and his disciples. Wanting revenge, Montauk proposed an idea so horrifying that the details were never made public. A procedure known as 110 Montauk, to be performed on the final bride at regular intervals.
The fuck is that?
However, this wasn't the end of Dr. Montauk's fraught relationship with the Scarlet King. It was just the beginning. To give you some perspective on just how dangerous the Scarlet King is, the SCP Foundation and the Global Occult Coalition decided to put aside their differences and form a joint effort to stamp out the children of the Scarlet King.
Alrighty.
They were successful in this mission, and even managed to capture the children's leader, a mysterious man named Depeche Spivak. Dr. Montauk, who became the lead researcher on 231 and 2317, was naturally the first choice for interviewing Depeche about the true nature of the children and of the Scarlet King. Dr. Montauk could never be the impartial interviewer that the SCP Foundation wanted, though. The suspicion that the Scarlet King or the children had something to do with the loss of his younger brother still lingered just beneath the surface. Like a lot of cult leaders, Depeche was extremely cryptic in his answers to Dr. Montauk's questioning. He'd already heard of the doctor from the reputation of the horrifying Montauk procedure.
Oh my god.
To see him so calm and courteous.
I wonder if that dude is the actual Scarlet King. Because they were talking about in mythology and stuff that the Scarlet King, he shapes himself as beings throughout like history. So maybe he's like shaping himself as the leader, maybe. Who knows?
Few key facts about the king and his cult were revealed in the first few rounds of questioning. The children had once worked with the Serpent's Hand before being excommunicated for their allegiance to the king. They had stolen sacred texts from the mystical Wanderer's Library to assist in their summoning rituals. Depeche also revealed that the Scarlet King is bound by 3 laws: the law of blood, the law of concrete, and the law of howling.
Law of concrete.
Dr. Montauk, confused and frustrated by Depeche's secrecy, had to learn more. He found an old memoir from a former member of the Children of the Scarlet King, Jack Hirsch, who had the ability to invade the minds of people from the past and experience what they experienced. He recounted a battle between the Scarlet King and his followers, and a group of time-traveling Turkmen warriors from SCP-3838.
Another SCP. I think that's like the 3rd or 4th one that we found out in this video. Oh my god. Attached to SCP-001.
Hurst saw both sides of the battle. From the perspective of the Children of the Scarlet King, their lord ruled over them from an immense fortress embedded in a volcano. From the perspective of the Turkmen, the children were starved and beaten peasants, commanded by the king's voice in the roaring howl of the wind. Montauk also found extensive records of summoning rituals performed by various Scarlet King-aligned cults. Interestingly, some of them incorporated the use of carved SCP Foundation symbols. What could this mean? Montauk returned again to Depeche, who finally gave him the truth about the law of blood. This is the law of the Scarlet King. It's defined by poverty, violence, starvation, hate, and most of all, fear.
Jesus.
Like the serfs in the Middle Ages, persecuted by and subjected to violence from the nobles. To the Children of the Scarlet King, this sense of holy pain and awe is the only way to live. The alternative is the law of concrete, which means the modern age defined by empty safety and false comfort. Buildings,
hold up.
food, health, empty safety and false comfort. Sense of holy pain and awe is the only way to live. The alternative is the law of concrete, which means the modern age defined by empty safety and false comfort. Buildings, easy to access food,
false comfort,
healthcare, knowledge, technology. This is everything that the Scarlet King despises. But the mystery only deepened as Montauk found files from a former Foundation operative by the name of Agent de Beauvoir. Montauk learned that the Scarlet King didn't seem to appear until after the Foundation was created. And in fact, it seemed that the greater interest the Foundation took in the Scarlet King...
I thought he came to be, and that's why SCP Foundation was created. Hold up.
De Beauvoir. Montauk learned that the Scarlet King didn't seem to appear until after the Foundation was created. And in fact, it seemed that the greater interest the Foundation took in the Scarlet King, the more powerful he became. How could this be? Things were also getting strange.
So he's basically Freddy Krueger. If you say his name, we think about him, he gets more powerful. Guys, what the hell?
On a personal level for Dr. Montauk. Depeche repeatedly pressed him about his brother's disappearance and the Montauk procedure during the interviews. Little by little, it was beginning to take its toll. The questions still plagued him. What was the law of howling? Who or what really is the Scarlet King? How did he come to be? Montauk's search was causing him to act more like the children of the Scarlet King, ranting about the horrors of the modern world, how all of us are living a lie, how the only honest way to live is suffering under the dominion of the Scarlet King.
Yeah.
This philosophy is summed up in the words of one cultist named Ariadne Cartwright, who said, "We must learn what it is to die, to be enslaved, truly, brutally enslaved, with no compassion or compunction from our masters. We must learn what it is to be taken towards a single purpose, to know and truly understand our lack of agency.
Jesus.
We must be beholden to the words of gods and darkness, the tempest-tossed refuse of a race of fools. We must kill modernity, postmodernity, with all its analysis and sneering observation. There is only one rule, the rule of chaos, for humanity, for life, for the Scarlet King." Basically,
God damn.
anytime humanity tries to exert control over the world, the Scarlet King gets stronger. Every time they try to understand or organize or categorize their world, the Scarlet King gets stronger. As colonial and imperial powers conquered and invaded lands like India,
He
Africa,
gets stronger.
and South America, and subjugated their beliefs under Western ideas, the Scarlet King grew stronger.
Oh my
Montauk
God.
was beginning to truly understand the power of his enemy here. And even worse, he was starting to understand his part in it. Montauk, slowly being driven mad by the knowledge he was gaining, realized that the Scarlet King's greatest enemy, the SCP Foundation, was also its greatest asset.
Because they make it
Every
strong.
time they tried to understand the monster, to give him some kind of comprehensible form, they only made him more powerful. Just in time with Montauk's new revelation, a red crack appeared in the wall of Depeche Spivak's containment cell, a portal to the realm of the Scarlet King. Foundation staff found they were unable to enter the cell, and Depeche demanded a final interview with Montauk. With no other options, the Foundation relented. In their very last conversation, Depeche congratulated Montauk for finally understanding what he was dealing with. The Scarlet King, Depeche told him, is an idea, a concept. He is a being given power through the conflict between the old and the new. This is the law of the howling. The Scarlet King's endless rage at the direction the world and humanity has taken.
Wow.
The king, according to Depeche, hated the Foundation's belief that science and rationality was the true path to progress. The king saw this as little more than petty arrogance. The reason Montauk's procedure on the final bride of the Scarlet King was so effective was because it wasn't born out of science. It was born out of hate, pain, the desire for revenge. And in the Scarlet King's realm, that would be all there is.
Oh my God, look at him.
Unless our world, and especially the Foundation, changed its course, the Scarlet King's rise to absolute power would be inevitable. Montauk, his mind practically gone, asked one last question. Did the children or the Scarlet King take his brother, Jacob? When Depeche told him the answer, no. And in response, Montauk shot him dead, finally bringing an end to the children of the Scarlet King. In light of his new revelation,
God damn, he's going to jail.
Montauk begged the O5 Council to change their ways in order to avoid letting the Scarlet King break into our reality. They refused,
Oh my God.
saying Montauk's ideas were too...
Well, one, why aren't they arresting him? He just killed somebody. Oh my God.
But they knew they couldn't just ignore the threat posed by the Scarlet King. They would have to take some steps.
I would hope
and
so.
so the O5 Council of the SCP Foundation the most powerful and secretive group in the entire world, in order to prevent the most dangerous threat that humanity has ever known from breaking into our reality and enslaving all the people of the world, finally did something. They changed the classification of the Scarlet King from Keter to Safe, and made its description on the official Foundation files deliberately vague. The O5 Council thinks this will be enough to stop the Scarlet King's power from continuing to grow, but Montauk knew it wasn't enough.
Damn.
He had seen the truth, and he couldn't unsee it. While the Foundation was going on as normal, Montauk grew to despise them. He knew the Scarlet King was coming. He knew that he couldn't be stopped, and that our whole reality was little more than sitting ducks. Dr. Robert Montauk is no longer a researcher for the SCP Foundation. No, Dr. Robert Montauk chose a different path. He is now a child of the Scarlet King, a devotee of madness, hate, and
But you
chaos.
killed one of them.
You can't beat the Scarlet King after all. And as the old...
This dude! Look at this dude, bro. Really? You gonna join him now? I'm dead. This goober.
It goes. If you can't beat him, join him. Now go watch SCP-682, Ways the Found... Join him. Nope.
Okay, that was good. That was great. Oh my goodness. That was a lot than I expected. Just a lot to take in. But god damn. I figured, because there's a few SCP videos that I'm going to watch later, like probably tomorrow. And I was thinking, like, I saw one that was called God. And it's probably like God. I'm like, okay, he's probably going to be the strongest one. But after seeing this one, the Scarlet King, I can't wait to react to the God's SCP. I think that's SCP-343. God. Yeah, I'm probably going to react to that next. Because I really want to see if this guy is even close to the Scarlet King. Because, bro, they might be the top tier SCPs. This dude is not... He's like a whole concept. But they're making it seem like it's a concept. Because if he comes to this world, he could literally break reality. Like, he can't even be in this world. So, that's just crazy. And he's like the origins of other SCPs. Bro, this was a great SCP video for me to react to. God, I liked it a lot. If you guys liked it as well too, remember to smash the sub button. Join the family too. I'm lonely. Help a kid out. Yo, smash it. And also remember, if you guys have favorite SCP videos, let me know in the comment section below so I can check them out in the future. So with that all out the way, hope you guys all have a good day. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Savvy signing out.